Well, hello there, Michael. I am so glad to have you as a guest with me right now. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Thank you. So, for those of you that do not know Michael, he is one of the world's leading experts in helping people with aggressive and reactive dogs. And so today I have him here to talk to us about dogs that are especially reactive towards children and dogs that have resource guarding issues, whether it's to a particular family member or whether it's to objects in the home. And we want to make sure that both the dog feels safe and respected and that the children are not at risk. So how would you advise families if you're worried that your dog tends to be protective over certain items, but you also have kids that, little Tasmanian devils moving around the house? Is it just all about separation and management, or is there also training they can do to help?
The foundation for any aggression case or dogs that have resource guarding issues or any history of aggression is safety and management first.
Okay.
Because if you don't have that, it doesn't matter how much behavior training you do, you're going to have risks of the dog practicing the behavior that you don't want. And especially with aggression, if they practice that behavior, they remember it. So they remember if I made that kid get away from my bone with just a quick snap to his face, they're going to remember that for the next time.
Yeah.
And so we really want to prevent rehearsal of that behavior for many reasons, of course. So yes, safety and management really play a role. And I like to use a lot of analogies. It's like we have to have realistic expectations about our dogs. And resource guarding is a very normal behavior. If we look back at the pandemic and how toilet paper was flying off the shelves, and if you got your 2 rolls and somebody reached into your cart, what are you going to do? You're going to resource guard. And dogs are the same thing. So we can't put false expectations on dogs to say they're never going to guard something that's of high value for them. So we want to make sure we're doing things safely, especially when kids are involved, as you know. And it's like you have a power tool at home. So if you have a running power tool and your chainsaw is running on the kitchen table, you're going to let the babysitter know it's there and what the problem is of that happening. And so because the dogs are much safer than running chainsaws, believe me, statistically. I don't want to scare anybody away from having dogs, but it's the same concept. They have teeth, they're living animals, their potential for resource guarding is there because they're a live being.
With feelings, yeah.
Yes. So having just a level of kind of understanding of what the potential for problems can be, even if there hasn't been a problem. So you've had a running chainsaw on your table for years, but the babysitter doesn't know what the routine you go through is. So,
right.
So that's first and foremost. And then, of course, you could do the behavior change part of things, which is teaching the dog that when the baby approaches, good things happen. So pairing treats with the baby crawling around, doing it safely, of course, having some barriers or something in place so the dog can't physically, so that the 2 parties can't physically get close to each other. But it's really the presentation of baby approaching. When the dog's in this certain area, predicts good things going to happen. And you rinse and repeat that enough times, soon the dog's like, this kid is great. Every time this kid comes out, that's when the super awesome goodies come out. That's how you start to work on the behavior.
Right. And I feel like a lot of people with kids and dogs have rose-colored glasses on all the time, and they just hope for the best. But really being proactive seems to make a gigantic difference in not only your sanity, but I mean, the stakes are high. There's no reason that we should pussyfoot around it. The stakes are really high. If your dog makes a big mistake, either you may need to rehome your dog or euthanize the dog. And I would love to see that not even be an issue.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm sure you see that a lot.
Yes, because children are the number 1 demographic for dog bites. They're the kids get the most. So it's kind of one of the things we really want to focus on is dog safety, dog bite safety, because again, the ramifications when a dog bites a child, it's very alarming for a lot of people. It's a big deal, and it's often blamed on the dog, and so the outcome can be very poor for dogs that bite children because it's not acceptable in many society, in our society in a way. So again, I think if we just educate the safety aspect of it and being proactive rather than reactive about the whole thing can go such a long way.